The UN Summit on Climate Change held in Copenhagen, Denmark recently brought to light many things about the state of the environment and also the state of minds of many major governments. Amidst the differences of opinion, the only consensus was that something should be done. While world leaders debated what actions to be taken, how they should be measured, and who should pay for them, luxury car maker BMW, which is a major sponsor of cop15, organized a sustainability summit in Berlin. Car makers are major contributors to our carbon footprint, and converging scientists agree that carbon emissions is a useful measure of the damage that the human race is inflicting on global climate. Like many European car makers, BMW has made a lot of efforts to produce ever more fuel-efficient cars and have come up with a host of current and near-future solutions for a low-emission, low-guilt mobility. Prior to the summit, Dr. Norbert Reithofer, chairman of the board of management of BMW AG, laid out the company's expectations. He said that BMW supports a common climate reduction target and admits that industrialized countries must share the burden equally, not least in order to prevent competitive distortions and displacement effects. Reithofer expects Copenhagen to help pave the way for sustainable mobility. He says that the next step, after setting ambitious targets, will be to translate them into concrete measures. For example, Reithofer says governments must offer incentives towards the purchase of electric cars in order to ensure that there is sufficient initial demand. Well, it's not just talk. BMW is making firm commitments towards a quantifiable climate target. The company intends to reduce CO2 emissions of its products by at least 25% by 2020. To achieve this goal, technologies like zero-emission electric drive will play a vital role. Between 1995 and 2008, BMW Group has already reduced EU fleet average emissions by more than 25%. The company has also launched a wide-ranging sustainability strategy. Frank Peter Arndt, a member of the board of management of BMW AG, responsible for production, says that the BMW Group is the world's most sustainable car company. It's not just his words. That was confirmed once again in 2009 when the Dow Jones Sustainability Index listed the BMW Group as a sector leader for the 5th consecutive year. Meanwhile, at the Berlin Symposium, Harald Kruger, another member of the board of management of BMW AG, said that in the future, premium will be synonymous with sustainability.
I think we as a premium brand and as a supplier of premium products, in the future we believe that premium and sustainability will be the same, that you can't differ it, and that if you would like to sell premium products and services, you must be a #1 in sustainability.
Green solutions offered by BMW include pure electric vehicles, efficient engines, and energy recovery methods.
I think the BMW Group can offer a lot. The one is for sure a very advanced engine technology, drivetrain technology, new energy concepts, new vehicles, as well that we can also offer what we do in corporate social responsibility for education, for healthness, for safety across the world.
Now, one important conclusion that we came up with on the basis of observations and analysis of trends and developments that have taken place.
At the symposium, Dr. Rajendra Pachauri, chairman of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, laid out what he thinks needs to be done about the effects of human activity on the planet's climate. Top of his wish list is putting a price on pollution, or more specifically, putting a price on carbon emissions.
Firstly, we've got to place a price on carbon. I think that's absolutely essential. Unless you price carbon appropriately, you're not going to provide the market signals for business and industry or consumers to move in the right direction. Secondly, you also need to frame policies by which new technologies can be developed. And this means governments themselves will have to provide money, but they will also have to create tax policies and other such measures by which the right kinds of investments will take place on the part of the private sector. And thirdly, I think we have to bring about changes in lifestyles. And this is where the public has to be educated, because I think the public, particularly young people, if they realize that, if we are to take action, then we have to bring about some changes in our own personal lifestyles, then you will get a movement at the grassroots level which can make a major difference.
While everyone agrees that the environment is worth saving, less developed countries generally feel that developed countries are in an unfair position because they committed all their environmental sins before there was environmental awareness, and now developing nations are being told not to do the same. Concessions are being hammered, transfers of technology are being worked on, and the matter of cost is discussed as one of the incentives for overall global reduction in carbon emissions.
I think the industrialized countries will have to do three things. The first is to come up with an aggregate target for reduction of emissions by 2020. I think that will create a lot of confidence all over the world. Secondly, I think it should provide commitment for financing of action in the developing countries. And thirdly, it should also think in terms of some means by which it can facilitate transfer of some technologies, key technologies. I believe Europe can really play an extremely important role, not only in doing what it can do itself, but also in mobilizing support among the other developed countries to see that something like this happens.
America is long known for their refusal to cooperate in any meaningful way with any global climate change efforts. This image was reinforced by President George W. Bush, who simply refused to recognize the steps laid out in the important Kyoto protocols. Rajendra spots a change in the attitude with Barack Obama in the White House.
I think in the last couple of weeks there have been some interesting developments. The fact that President Obama will be going there and will be making an announcement about what the US is committing to do. And what's very heartening about this is the fact that so far the US has no legislation, but the President is going to make a commitment from what the press reports indicate, which clearly shows his commitment to solving this problem. And also the Chinese, the statement that they have made. And Europe has been in the lead and continues to be in the lead. But what's also very heartening and extremely encouraging is the decision by the new Japanese government to reduce emissions by 25% over 1990 levels by 2020. So I think overall you see all this action, which I think creates a very positive environment for getting the right kind of agreement.
BMW is not the only company that is making serious moves towards a more sustainable future. The automotive industry as a whole is unanimous in predicting a fully hydrogen future, but they differ in the paths getting there. Some companies believe that gasoline-electric hybrid powertrain is the first step. Others prefer diesel or developing more efficient internal combustion engines and using energy recovery technology. Some believe that an all-hydrogen future is represented by the plug-in electric vehicle, while others believe that fuel cells will be the onboard energy converter from hydrogen. And then there are car companies that believe the future will be dominated by hydrogen-fueled internal combustion engines.